Welcome to the American Veteran Business Podcast, where we shine a spotlight on the remarkable journey of veteran entrepreneurs as they take their skills honed in the military and apply them to the business world. I'm your host, Dave Maestas, founder of AmericanVeteranBusiness.com, and together, of course, we have our co-host, James Beck from LifeBook Military. Let's begin. All right, and good evening. Another great show today. We have Jeremiah Flynn out of Boise, Idaho, and he's got solutions tech. He is a U.S. Air Force auxiliary, former auxiliary member, and he's doing great things in Boise. So, Jeremiah, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we're super excited you're here, especially because you're in Boise, Idaho. Great country that's up there. Great people. I've always loved when I've gone into Idaho to visit some friends that I had over there. So I'll tell you that one of the first things we always ask right away, jumping into it, is, where did you grow up at?
Well, I was born in Boise, Idaho, and then moved over with my mom to Pullman, Washington, and then I ended up going over to Seattle, Washington, where I started my service, and then ended it abruptly because of brain tumor issues. So, yeah, that's a short version of that.
Yep, yep. So were you actually in Seattle, or were you in like the outskirts of Seattle?
No, I was in a suburb of Seattle, which is called Fife, but then soon moved over to McCord Air Force Base.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, whenever I think about Fife, I think about, just businesses. You don't ever think about people living in Fife.
Yeah.
It's just such an industrialized sort of area. And especially now that they built the Puyallup tribe built that casino out there, that's pretty
Mhm.
massive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a different world. But so did you go into the military right out of high school?
Yeah. I actually started um, a little pre-high school and started doing basic training and all that stuff. And then I did my uh, my tech school over in what is it? Moses Lake. Moses Lake. Is that what it's called?
Yep, yep.
And yeah, and I did actually search and rescue training for that. And then I was stationed you know, uh, at McCord Air Force Base.
Right on. So what was the actual MOS that you had in the Air Force?
It was Romeo 009.
No,
Yep.
but what was the job itself?
Oh, the job was search and rescue.
Oh, right on. It's a pretty challenging thing to take on, and you actually went through and uh,
Yeah.
yep, search and rescues. Did you love it?
Yeah, I did two missions. One in like Snoqualmie area. It was a little just Cessna. They ended up losing its way under like a storm, and then those both of those guys, they actually survived, and so we were able to get them out and everything. And then the other one, unfortunately, was again another VFR flight, and they didn't fare so well.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So I'm sure that I mean you probably saw the news of the two ladies who went down with their aircraft around Mount Rainier lately. Have you?
no, no, I haven't.
Yeah. Apparently they were down in some pretty rough terrain.
Whoa.
And yeah, check that out sometime. But I want to say that Um, Even though, you served a year and a half and had to come out, because of a brain tumor. I mean, man, it's guys like you who go on take tough, challenging jobs, and serve even a month in our military. Every single person that puts their lives on the line, volunteers like that, helps our military and helps our boys out there to and girls to survive, without
Hmm.
everybody working together in one way or another, to put it all together, we can't do that. So, I mean, um, I just want to say, thanks for, being able to just serve during that time that you did, because, from a Special Forces Green Beret aspect, let me tell you, I especially appreciate everybody who did everything they did in our military, because it helped me to survive and be here today. And you know, I couldn't imagine life, or not having life and not seeing my kids grow up. So thanks for the time that you did spend. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, and
Thank
search
you.
and rescues, that's not a powder puff job either. So I'm sure you had to go through some stuff in there to try and get qualified. And
Yeah.
I've talked to you a little bit. We've talked before this, and I think you're a pretty awesome dude. So, if from my standpoint, it just kind of sucks that you didn't get to do the full 20 that I know you wanted to do in there.
Hmm.
I think you would have been a really good asset for that force. But God had other plans, I guess, and nonetheless, you signed up, stepped up, and it's just too bad we didn't get you to do the 2 decades in there.
Yep. Yep.
Crazy. So we'll talk about the medical side really quick. Did um did they actually end up taking out the tumor that you had?
Yeah, so it's been quite a journey. When I was uh, in '04, is when I had my first surgery, and it left me with epilepsy, actually. And they uh, they just kind of said, well, we don't want, like, he's still growing and everything like that, so we don't want to go ahead and do radiation or chemo or anything like that, because he hasn't been, like they say, you're not done growing until you're 25, right?
Yeah.
And so they were like, yeah, we'll just do that, and we'll just keep on monitoring and watching. And then they left a little, slice left, because technology, lack thereof. And they started growing back about 10 years later. And then we did radiation. And then just recently, I we ended up stop monitoring and everything like that. And finally, my hand started, doing weird things, and it wouldn't work properly and stuff like that. So I ended up getting an MRI, and it came back. And so this time we hit it with surgery, radiation, and chemo. And so it's been, actually actually today is oh tomorrow is a year, so, of the surgery. So yeah, and so it's been a long, hard road, and I'm still not done with it. Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm glad that you're at least coming out of it now, and you're able to try and push forward as much as you can. So um,
Well, the fact that they got 100% out of, or got 100% of the tumor out, is very, that really pushes me, and helps me. And plus, I'll probably never have surgery ever again. They say that if it starts growing again, we'll just take us some medication and it'll suppress it. hopefully. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I think we're in a very unique time in with technology in that I think that a lot of the ailments that we have in a very short amount of time, 10, 20 years especially, we're going to see a lot of cures and a lot of things that are
yeah,
fixed easily. And then mostly because of AI. AI is going to
oh yeah,
suck up all the knowledge in the world and problem solve to how do we fix these things. So we're coming up on a very interesting time um, of our lives, so I'm glad to see you pushing forward. But so tell us about solutions tech and what's the service that it offers?
yeah. So Solutions Tech is a IT uh, services company, and basically what that means is that when I got into or got into the industry about 20 years ago, I started seeing these. I had to work on or work at what's called MSPs or managed service providers, and I had to learn the business, and I had to learn, which allowed me to be like, well, I don't like that about it. I do like that. I do, and then one of the things that I did not like was minimums or minimum, whether it was people or employees or a minimum amount of devices. And so one of the things that we don't have is minimum.
Hmm.
So on a standard package that you're going to see is it's going to be a remote management system, which goes ahead and um, it updates all of the windows and all that stuff that you need. Um, you're going to end up with cybersecurity for antivirus and anti-ransomware and phishing and all that stuff. You're going to get a backup solution, and then also you're going to get um, like if you want to have Microsoft, we can provide Microsoft for you. And but we most likely or most of the time we just get or do the remote management system to fix your problem. But most of it is remote monitoring and yeah, so
So who's your ideal customer? Who's the person that really needs the services you guys are offering?
um people in the trades um are like plumbers, welders, things like that, that even have one computer. Because most of like that one computer they do their QuickBooks off of and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but they know nothing about IT. No, not as a uh, like a dig, you know, to them, but it's just you don't know what you don't know, right? And I was a welder for, you know, 15 years, um, starting back in high school, and I love it, and I know how to speak it, and I love it, so I love the people that, go to do that. So, and then, people like doctors, not necessarily like chiropractors, but actual I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but actual MDs that are like uh, podiatrists and stuff like that, that they don't want to worry about it. They just want to pay for it and get it done and stuff like that.
I
So
think you saved yourself by saying actual MDs instead of actual doctors because I knew where you were going with that and
yeah,
the flack
yeah,
Yeah,
you get.
that's
So,
yeah.
funny.
so let me ask you then. So those people and with your solutions and everything, what's the What's the number one problem that your services solve?
The number one problem, well, I think uh, printing issues is the crux of most customers. Um, and it could be just an easy thing as turning your printer off and turning it on, maybe repairing it. As in like hooking them up, back and forth, right? And uh, a lot of guys or a lot of clients don't really get deep into um, problems, maybe some network issues, um, finding out what is eating up a lot of bandwidth,
Okay.
things like that. So, but most of the time, if 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 somebody doesn't change anything on their network, change anything on their computer and stuff like that, and they're just working as normal, I don't have to really troubleshoot a lot. I have a client that um, I've gone with and I've grown with and everything, and they have they don't have very many, you know, um, problems. And I think part of that is they ask, um, should we do this before they do it?
Right.
You know, they're not trying to clean up um, someone else's messes all the time.
Do you offer server services?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh man, that's incredible. And I think that a lot of people don't understand that there's providers out there that are the major companies, GoDaddy and stuff like that. Nothing wrong
Mm,
with GoDaddy, they're awesome. I work with them quite a bit. But having someone like you that has, your own servers that are there, speed, can be huge and speed up things for you. But also to have someone like you that you could talk to when there are, IT issues. So, I mean, even though you have clients that don't call you because they don't have as many problems, the fact of the matter is when something happens, they know they can call you,
Right.
yep.
you know, and
Yeah.
and not be stuck on a phone for 30 minutes waiting for the next guy who's only going to tell you, "Oh, that's not my department. You need to talk to
Right.
this guy."
Right.
Um,
And
so,
part of that is I I will if they have so there a lot of people will be like, hey, do you know anything about service titan, especially for plumbers and stuff? And I said, no, I don't. I know what, kind of what it's about. But if you have a problem with it, I will sit on the phone for 4 hours or whatever so that you can go ahead and continue your work because your work is not to troubleshoot IT stuff.
Hmm.
That's my job. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
That's
I
customer service.
literally tell everybody I know, get your website off of those big companies and get them into a company like yours, especially veteran owned. Get
Hmm.
them into yours. There's a guy that's going to take care of you. And because when the problems happen with those sites, you definitely want someone on right away. So I've got a
Yeah.
client that has one of these sites on one of the big companies, and right now his site's been down for like 10 days. Um,
What?
and it's been pretty
Oh
frustrating
man,
for
that's
him.
bad.
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
And
Yeah.
so, from the agency standpoint, I mean, what am I driving traffic to? So
Hmm.
now I am sending it to his Google My Business page right now, but it's still pretty frustrating.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
how Jeremiah's over there. He hears 10 days and he just starts getting uncomfortable. And he's like, man, that's,
Yeah.
that's
That,
terrible. He's feeling the pain. He wants to fix
yeah.
it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
I actually ended up making a slideshow of like what our actual standards are in IT. And I think it came down to like you have a week for the whole year to identify something and to resolve it.
Mm,
If yeah, and that's for the whole year. So, and now if it's like the ISP side of it, then that's like I'll work with them, but that I'm not held to the same standard. So,
right.
but yeah.
Yep. Yep, that's
Yeah.
good stuff. I've always wanted to put up a server into my house, my own server. So someday I'm thinking about doing that. And when I do, I'll give you a
Mm,
call, you know.
okay.
Because you can at
It,
least do a lot of the remote stuff.
dude, cloud is definitely the way to go, though.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, yeah, because if you go, if you have a server and then you say, hey, we're running out of, we're running out of SSD. Um, we need to, up it by, 100 terabytes. And they go, okay, no problem. And then they go ahead to the server farm and just add it to yours. And it's usually not even, they don't even have to add any hardware. It's just, they just have to allocate it over, you know.
Right on, right on. Well, at least I'll give you a call, and you can weigh, what you think would be the best for my
Yeah,
situation. So that'll be some good stuff. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, looks like we're coming short on time. So, I definitely want to say thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
Jeremiah,
you.
we greatly appreciated you coming in and, telling your story so everybody can learn about you.
Yeah, no problem. I was very happy to.
And before we get out of here, we'll put all the links and everything to the ways people can connect you into the description of the show. But why don't you tell everybody where they can find you online before we end the podcast here?
Yeah. So if you want to visit our website, it's www.solutions dash TEK, so tech.com.
Okay.
And then you can always give us a call at 208-918-3176.
Okay. Fantastic.
Right on. Thank you very much, Jeremiah.
All right, thank you.
All right. Awesome. This is Dave from AmericanVeteranBusiness.com. I want to thank you for joining us today. If you could do us a huge favor and click on like, subscribe, share us, and write a comment. That helps us out to make sure that more people see this. We greatly appreciate it. We'll see you soon.